Namazu is a unique straddle coaster of Vulcania. This is a surprisingly well-themed ride with multiple launches and a fun terrain-based layout. I made a special stop at this park mainly for this ride. Was it worth it? Find out in this review. Vulcania opened in 2002 as an educational center and museum, and that still best describes the park to this day. But they have added a few rides, including one roller coaster in Namazu. This ride opened in 2021, and it was an interesting first coaster. Most places that have just one roller coaster usually have a smaller kiddie or family coaster, but Namazu is a really unique and grand attraction. This could not have been a cheap addition. This specific model is also interesting, as it's an Intamin family launch coaster with straddle seating. The closest major park to Vulcania is La Pal. That park is roughly 1.5 hours away by car, and they already had the exact same ride type with Yukon Quad. Both rides have 2 launches and a heavy emphasis on low-to-the-ground turns, but I do not mind because they are quality rides. Most attractions at Vulcania are indoors, but Namazu is a rare outdoor experience. It is located towards the back right corner. You cannot see much of the ride from the midway because it hugs the terrain so much, and it's also set back in the woods. All you can see is the initial turnaround, but that element is photogenic because the bright red trains pop against the black track. What most catches your eye is the station building, which is a large gray rock structure. This looks fantastic, and when the ride exits the building for Launch 1, the sides are covered in similar rockwork. Most of the queue is outdoors, routing you past the ride's first half. This eventually takes you inside what looks like a shipping container, but it really is a lab. There, you have a few infographics about earthquakes on the wall, but you will not be there for long. You then have a turnstile system admitting the next batch of people into a pre-show. The name Namazu refers to a mythical catfish holding up the islands of Japan. The fish is controlled by the god Kashima. Whenever Kashima loses focus, Namazu slips and causes an earthquake. Remember, Vulcania is an educational-based park, so the ride is themed around earthquakes. The pre-show has all sorts of monitors explaining how earthquakes work. It is entirely in French, with no English subtitles, which is understandable because this is not a big tourist destination for foreigners. But I got the gist of what was happening. After about 1.5 minutes, the lab is hit by an earthquake. The floor starts to shake, a good amount too. The TVs disconnect, red lights flash, and cabinets fall over. This is a really well done effect. The park spared no expense with this ride. They went all out. A different worker then comes on another TV monitor and tells guests to embark on all-terrain vehicles, leading to the station. This is themed as well. Loose articles are stored in cabinets alongside lab tech. Then the front of the station is dressed as a rocky cavern. Riders are free to select any road they'd like in the station. The forces feel pretty similar across the train, but I had a slight preference for the front for the unobstructed view and superior sense of speed. This ride does not have the best capacity, which is a downside for a lot of these straddle coasters. Each train is just 6 rows of 2, holding a max of 12 riders. There are 2 trains at least, and the park was running both for me. And they were rolling trains, which I really hoped for given how this ride is decent duration. But the throughput thankfully seems to be fine for Vulcania. Lines were manageable for me. Including the pre-show, Namazu was maybe a 15 to 20 minute wait, and I visited what I believe was a busier day. It was a summer evening when the park was offering their Dragon Nighttime Spectacular and Fireworks show. I will cover this in the Vulcania Park review, but you need to be careful when you plan to arrive at this park and coaster. I could see many coaster enthusiasts trying to make a pit stop here exclusively for Namazu and not allocate much time, and it may be tempting to arrive on the days with the late closes, but don't arrive too late. You see, this park closes both the parking lot and main entrance 2 hours before their posted closing time, so if you want to get the credit and run, arrive at opening. If you are there towards the end of the day, be cognizant of when this coaster closes. On the day I visited, the website said all attractions would be available until 9:30 p.m. However, Namazu closed at 9 p.m. This was posted on the physical park maps handed out at the entrance, and also the wait time boards, but I didn't realize it until the ride had already closed. This caused me to miss out on a true night ride, which was a bummer because it looked quite dark due to the setting. The seats are similar to the other straddle coasters. You have a lap bar that forms a U shape. The portion across your lap is comfortable, but there are these sidebars that can be a very tight squeeze if you have wide hips, wide thighs, or if you have a lot of things in your pockets. Most straddle coasters provide handlebars for you to lean forwards. Namazu doesn't quite have these, because the trains resemble trucks. So instead, you can lean forwards and grab the windshield. It looks a bit weird, but it offers a similar sensation. Now, I'm going to discuss the on-ride experience, which does begin with a dark ride sequence. There are some special effects here, so if you don't want to know what happens, skip ahead to the time shown on screen. Once dispatched, you roll forwards into an illuminated rock cavern. A swirling light circles to relay a sense of danger. In front of you, there does not appear to be an exit. There is just a screen showing the cavern collapsing. The same worker from the pre-show appears, but he is soon covered by rubble. The sides of the cavern also have some projection mapped effects of rocks crumbling. You are actually on a drop track during this point. You initially drop maybe a foot, but this is just a warning, presumably because the park gets a lot of school groups. A second later, you get the full drop track. I have only seen one other drop track configured in that manner. Namazu's drop track is a bit slower than the other drop tracks I've done. It does not feel like a true freefall, but it was fast enough to offer a tummy-tickling sensation. Think of what a kiddie drop tower feels like. You then roll forwards on a launch 1. This takes you outdoors for the remainder of the ride. As with most straddle coasters, it is a tire-propelled launch, but don't be fooled, it has a decent kick to it. You'll feel the acceleration trying to pull you backwards. I think this is where you hit the ride's top speed of 43 miles per hour, or 69 kilometers per hour. You then have the aforementioned bank turnaround. I believe this is where you get your max height of 53 feet, or 16 meters. It's a rare tall moment on this ride. It offers solid Gs in and out of it. Then you also get some laterals. The front gets them entering the element, while the back gets them when you're pulled downwards. Next is an elongated bunny hill. There is no airtime here, or anywhere on Namazu for that matter, but the pullout has some okay Gs. This leads to some low S-bends that offer some lateral shimmies. Moments like these work better with the straddle seating because you feel more exposed and you have less bracing if you're leaning forwards. Immediately afterwards, you have a small S-hill. It is mild, but fine. It perfectly transitions you to the ride's second half though. This leads into launch 2. This is another tire-propelled launch that provides a nice boost. You'll again feel it yanking you backwards. This leads to an L-shaped turnaround. It offers a lateral kink at the apex in front. Then those in back get decent laterals once again when they're pulled downwards. You then have some S-bends and low turns hugging the ground. These have solid force to them, and I like the speed as well, but they also have a very weird rattle to them. It was tolerable, but it came out of nowhere. The rest of the ride is very smooth, which is what you'd expect from an Intamin straddle coaster. This manufacturer excels in making smooth rides, and this model in particular is usually among the smoothest. So I'm not sure what happened here. This leads to a tame bunny hill, which again is too drawn out for any negative Gs. Then there's an okay turn into the brakes, offering one last burst of positive Gs. You then hit the brakes and return to the station, ending the 1,916 foot, or 584 meter long experience. That's not a lot of track length on paper, but the ride duration feels more than satisfactory when you factor in that dark ride bit at the start. That really helps the overall experience. In terms of pacing, this ride does a nice job. While the overall top speed isn't too crazy, this ride barely leaves the ground, so it almost never slows down. Then while there are not any super intense elements, there are plenty of elements, and the train quickly navigates each and every one of them. So what would I rate Namazu? I would give this coaster an 8 out of 10. The coaster itself is probably closer to a 7, but it gets a boost from the thematic elements. You have both the pre-show and a dark ride sequence, and the coaster portion is enjoyable as well. The launches are punchy, and I like all the low to the ground elements. The ride offers nice pacing and a good sense of speed. You get some laterals and positives along the way as well. This ride does not have the intensity of some other Intamin Straddle coasters, but it's still a pleasant experience that fits in at the unique park. Remember, this is more of an educational center rather than a pure theme park, and Namazu delivers on the educational aspect while also being highly entertaining. I do think Yukon Quad at La Pal is a superior coaster. That ride's second half has some really wild turns and an even greater sense of speed, but Namazu is the more complete experience. This ride is the full package. It would not feel out of place at a Disney park. That's how thorough and detailed the experience is start to finish. They knocked it out of the park with this one. So those are my thoughts on Namazu at Vulcania. What are your thoughts on this coaster? Have you ridden it? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos